day and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Halana Sabayan from College of Education, first year Basic Sciences. Welcome to my video presentation. So today, I'm going to discuss one of the theories of human development, which is Socio-Cultural theory. So it will evolve any dictation what the child can do in cooperation today, tomorrow, she or he will able to do alone. It has something to do with dealing with people. Our development based from this theory when it comes if we cooperate with someone to accomplish a certain task. Before we start this discussion, let us view first our learning contents. When Vygotsky was a young boy, he was educated under a teacher who used Socratic method. This method was a systematic question and answer approach that allowed Vygotsky to examine current thinking and practice higher levels of understanding. This experience, together with his interest in literature and his work as a teacher, led him to recognize social interaction and language as two central factors of cognitive development. His theory became known as the Socio-Cultural theory of development. Piaget and Vygotsky. Vygotsky worked on his theory around the same time as Piaget in between the 1920s and 30s, but they had clear differences in their views about cognitive development. Since Piaget was taken up already in the preceding module, it would be easier now to see how his views compare with Vygotsky's. Social interaction. Piaget was more individual, while Vygotsky was more social. Piaget worked on Piagetians, thus focused heavily on how an individual's own processing of the task. Vygotsky, on the other hand, gave more weight on the social interactions that contributed to the cognitive development of individual. So, para kay Vygotsky, ang social environment of the community is take a major role in one's development. Vygotsky emphasized that effective learning happens through participation in social activities, making the social context of learning crucial. So, dito, pinibigyang diin ni Vygotsky na ang mabisang pag-aaral ay nangyayari sa pamamagitan ng pagkikilahok sa mga social activities. Parents, teachers, and other adults in the learner's environment all contribute to the process. They explain models, assist, give direction, and provide feedback to the learners. Peers, on the hand, cooperate and collaborate and enrich the learning experience. Cultural factors. Vygotsky believed in the crucial role that culture played in the cognitive development of children. Piaget believed that as the child develops and matures, he goes through universal stages of cognitive development that allows him to move from simple exploration with senses and muscles to complex reasoning. Vygotsky, on the other hand, looked into the wide range of experience that a culture would give to a child. For instance, one culture's view about the education, how children are trained early in life, all can contribute to the cognitive development of the child. Language. Language opens the door for learners to acquire knowledge that others already have. Learners can use language to know and understand the world and solve problems. Language serves a social function, but it also has an important individual function. It helps the learner regulate and reflect on his own thinking. Children talk to themselves. Observe preschoolers play, and you may hear gagawin ko itong airplane while holding a rectangular block, tapos airport, holding two long blocks. For Vygotsky, this talking to oneself is an indication of thinking that goes on in the mind of the child. This will eventually lead to private speech. Private speech is a form of self-talk that guides the child's thinking and action. Vygotsky believed in the essential role of activities in learning. Children learn best through hands-on activities than when listening passively. Learning by doing is even made more fruitful when children interact with knowledgeable adults and peers. Zone of proximal development. When a child attempts to perform a skill alone, she may not be immediately proficient at it. So alone, she may perform a certain level of competency. We refer to this as the zone of actual development. However, with the guidance of a more knowledgeable other or MKO, competent adult, or a more advanced peer, the child can perform at a higher level of competency. The difference between what the child can accomplish alone and what Vygotsky referred to a zone of proximal development. The zone represents a learning opportunity where a knowledgeable adults, such as a teacher or parents or a more advanced peer, can assist the child's development. See the illustration on the next page. The support or assistance that lets the child accomplish a task he cannot accomplish independently is called scaffolding. Scaffolding is not about doing the task for the child while he watches. It is not about doing shortcuts for the child. Unzipping the lunch bag, opening the food container, and putting a straw in the child's Tetra Pak just for him is not scaffolding. Scaffolding should involve the judicious assistance given by the adult or peer so that the child can move from the zone of actual to the zone of proximal development. When the adult unzips the zipper an inch or two and then holds the lunch bag still so that the child can continue to unzip the lunch bag is scaffolding. Loosening the food container lid just a bit and letting the child open the lid himself is scaffolding. Leading the straw to the hole and letting the child put the straw through the Tetra Pak hole is scaffolding. The example given above shows how a right amount of assistance can allow the child to accomplish the task. The instructor should scaffold in such a way that the gap is bridged between the learner's current skill levels and the desired skill level. As learners become more proficient, able to complete tasks on their own that they could not initially do without assistance, the guidance can be withdrawn. This is called scaffolding and fadeaway technique. Scaffolding, when done appropriately, can make a learner confident and eventually he can accomplish the task without any need for assistance.